Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at my second clear of Sheratan, and then I'm doing this because I didn't get all the missions last time, but I'm going to go for them this time. And then this is the team that I'm using. First up is Noctis. He will be my provoke tank, and then I gave him 100% evade, and then 2 weapons, 1 earth element, 1 dark element. Because one of the missions that I need to clear is to do damage with those 2 elements, so that's why he has that. Next up is Lid, my breaker. I gave her a bunch of stuff to help her fill her limit break gauge more quickly. Next is Ayaka, my healer. And then everybody has, well, I tried to give everybody at least 30% dark and then earth resistance. Next up is Zargabath. He's my backup healer and then buffer. I gave him lots of MP stuff. Next is Squall. He'll be my damage source in the first part of the fight. Next up is Minfilia. She is there to give everybody earth and then dark resistance. I still don't have any other like base 5 stars that can do that, so still using her. And then Barbarisha and Lexa, they will be my chainers. And then finishing that chain will be Rydia with the Bahamut Esper. I just gave her a bunch of magic stuff without worrying about any null anything. Just so that she could get more damage out. Alright, so that's how we're looking. Let's head into the fight. Okay, so first with Noctis, let's fish. We'll provoke all the physical attacks to him. And then with Lid, let's break the attack and magic. Those are the only 2 things that we can break on Sheratan, and we want to have that up every turn if we can. Zargabath will buff everybody. And then let's use the dual cast Keen Edge with Squall. And that did way more damage than I was expecting. So I'm going to have to use him a little carefully so that I don't go past, you know, certain thresholds. Also so that I don't take down the boss by accident. And then with Ayaka, we'll put re-raise on my tank and then my healer. Okay, no problem there. Alright, and then with that counterattack, Noctis, he fulfilled that Earth Dark Damage mission with his 2 weapons. So now I just need to worry about taking down the boss with an Esper. So for now, I'm going to focus on building up my Esper gauge, and then also taking down the boss little by little. Once we get to 49, then the boss becomes much more difficult. So we'll take it slow until then. Okay, so we'll bring in Rydia. She has a skill to help us fill the Esper gauge. So that's good. And then with everybody else, we'll just keep up defenses, basically. Okay, Zargabath has a nice skill where he casts re-raise on a guy, and then also regen and refresh. So that'll be good for Squall because he uses lots of magic points for his attack skill there. And then with Ayaka, let's cast some re-raise on some more guys. Okay, definitely want to keep Rydia alive because we need her to build up the Esper gauge. Okay, a little bit of damage there, but we broke the boss's attack and magic, so nobody went down. Okay, turn 3. Before like 50% and above, Sheratan is going to use a hit all earth element attack. So let's bring in Minfilia, and then she will cast the earth resistance on everybody. And just to be safe, we'll break with Lid again. Alright, so earth resistance there, very good. And attack and magic break there. Okay, I checked to see if Noctis still had his provoke. He did not, so we'll recast that. We'll fill up the Esper gauge a little bit more here. And then with Ayaka, let's heal, and then I think we'll cast Re-Raise on somebody. Minfilia. She doesn't have a lot of HP, so she can go down pretty easily. Okay, so there's an MP drain on Noctis, but he has a pretty good amount of MP to begin with, so it's not that big of a deal. And then we had that resistance to the earth damage, so everybody lived through that as well. Okay, that next earth attack will come out turn 6, so I think we can put Minfilia away. And then the break is also holding, so we'll put Lid away. Oh, maybe not. Alright, I don't need Squall right now, because probably another double Keen Edge would bring the boss down to 49%. So we'll just do more defensive stuff, and then we'll fill the Esper gauge a little bit more. Okay, Link will fill Noctis's limit break gauge a little bit, and then also give a buff to all of my teammates, so... Okay, we'll heal Noctis here. We'll also refresh his MP, give him Re-Raise, all of the above. And then once we get Sheratan to 49%, I would also like Lid's limit break gauge to be filled. Alright, checking to see who has Re-Raise. Alright, so with Ayaka, we'll do Re-Raise on herself, and then Lid, I think it is. Yes. Alright, Lid doesn't have a lot to do this turn, so we'll just cast Maintenance in order to fill her own limit break gauge more. Okay, no problem there either. And now that I think about it, maybe I could have made Zargabath my provoke dodge tank. I'm wondering... No, actually that wouldn't have worked, because I would have wanted to give him 2 elemental weapons. In order to make his provoke work, I would have to use the Moogle plushie. So that would take up an attack slot, or a hand slot. So yeah, I guess this party is fine here. Alright, we'll put Fish back up. With Rydia, one last time to fill the Esper gauge, very good. And then with my other characters, just more defense stuff. I guess I could have given Lid the Earth Hammer, and then some kind of like Dark Katana on Zargabath, and then that would have probably fulfilled that requirement. But nothing wrong with this team here. But yeah, that is something that we've had to think about a lot recently in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, is like slot efficiency. Like using one character to take on like 2 or even 3 different roles. Just because there's so much to do in, like, especially the more recent fights. Not that big of a deal in the 10-man trials. Alright, Ayaka doesn't really have anything to do. I think everybody has re-raise, so we'll just use Embolden, a little bit of a buff. I am very much looking forward to the 7-star version of Noctis. He is awesome now, but he'll be even awesomer later. Okay, so this will be the turn, I think, that I push the boss to 49%. So I'm going to keep my 2 magic users, my 3 magic users in the back row, just so that they're ready for that next turn after. We'll bring in Squall in order to take the boss down to 49. We'll put Lid away as well, since I want her to break on that first turn after we go to 49%. And then we'll bring in Minfilia, because once we push the boss to 49, then they will hit us with a dark attack, so I need that dark resistance up. Okay, so dark resistance there. Noctis has the provoke, so let's see. Almost everybody has the re-raise, so I think we know what to do here. Okay, let's cast Rejuvenate on Zargabath himself. That'll give him re-raise, and then fill up his HP MP. Alright, with Noctis we'll do a little bit of a buff with his Link attack, kind of raise Squall's attack, and then with the Keen Edge bring the boss down to 49%. Perfect. Alright, checking again to see who has re-raise. Looks like everybody. Excellent. So we'll just heal and then take the boss's next attack. Okay, little fruit come out. There's that dark attack, no damage there, that's good. Okay, now it's time for my big attack. So we'll bring in the 2 chainers, Barbarisha and Lexa, and then Rydia with the Bahamut summon already. And then we also want Lid in order to break the boss so that their defenses go down. Okay, no tank, but hopefully we can just take down everybody here. So with Lid, we'll use her Limit Break. We'll break all of the enemy's defenses. Very good. With Zargabath, let's buff everybody. We'll get more attack value out of there. With Barbarisha and Lexa, we will chain the Blizzard or the Tornado and Erosia. And then finally, with Rydia, we'll use a Mega Flare to finish that chain. What I should have done before now was to kind of practice against the training dummy about the timing for this thing. But it turned out to be enough. We got rid of the fruit, which is the most important thing. Once they are gone, actually the boss is not that scary at all. It's almost kind of like how the boss acts in the first half. So as long as we keep the elemental resistance up every 3 turns, in this case it'll be dark, and then you know, keep breaking the boss's attack and magic, then no problem really. But I do want the Esper clear. So with Rydia, I'm going to have to leave her in, and then keep you know, filling that Esper gauge. But we'll bring in the usual members, the healers, the tanks, We don't need Barbarisha or Alexa anymore, so we'll just switch them out. And then with Squall, we're going to use him to try to get as close to 0% as possible without going past, of course. Alright, so let's fill the Esper gauge again. Thankfully it's already pretty full, so good. Maybe next turn we can take her down. Okay, we'll cast that Re-Raise, Regen, Refresh on Ayaka, just in case. With Noctis, let's use his Limit Break. That will buff all of my guys, so a little bit more defense, and then a little bit more attack as well. I don't have him fishing, though, so Sheratan's physical attacks might get spread out a little bit. And then with Squall, we'll do a single Keen Edge. Let's see how much damage that does. Ooh. Okay, so the attacks got spread out a little bit there. Squall got the Bite into, which is a pretty strong attack. But I guess his HP was so high that it wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, so now with Noctis, let's fish. Let's provoke those attacks. Alright, let's see who's got the Re-Raise. And then usually I would want to bring in Minfilia to have her do the Dark Resistance on everybody. But I was pretty confident that I could take down the boss this turn, so that's why we're going with this team. Okay, single Keen Edge there. Boss goes down to 6%. That's perfect, I think. And then with Rydia, we'll do the Bahamut. And hopefully that takes away the 6% damage there. Okay. Alright, so that was Sheratan. Much, much smoother than my first clear. I don't know how I was doing so little damage. In the first half I used Explore Eileen. She was fine. And then in the second half I tried to use some Chainers. But yeah, it was pretty hairy, especially that second half. This way it was much smoother, and then also got all of the missions, which I'm very happy about. I'm especially excited about the Strategist's Ingenuity. It gives you magic and spirit 30% up. I don't have a lot of materia that give you spirit 30% up, so that's pretty rare for me. And then having both of the magic and the spirit on one is really good for summoners in particular, because they want both of those things. Okay, so hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again. Take care.